So we're going to quickly press record. There we go. And if anybody else joins, we'll just let them come through. But I think let's kickstart. Another Wednesday, another Filotimo webinar. Welcome, everybody. So nice to see all these beautiful faces once again. Our champions, I see today is a very interesting session. All our champions are partaking, and I'm very happy to see that. I hope you guys are all well. Let's just do short introductions for those that are going to be watching or joining us for the first time. I am EVY MICHALOPOULOS. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Filotimo CANSA project. And joining me again once again, should I say, or rather, our director and co-founder, John Kominos.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here again.
And we have an amazing session planned for today. Our special Filotimo CANSA champion, NANIKI Seboni, is doing our webinar today, and we're going to be chatting about a relevant topic, of course, in South Africa, but all over the world. And even though we're going into winter, we still have to always keep this in mind. We're going to be chatting about skin cancer. So without any delays, I know Naniki's got an interesting presentation ready for us. I'm going to hand over to Nikki. Nikki, just a short intro into who you are, what you're doing, known as the Cancer Unicorn, but she'll tell you more about that. There we go. Over to you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Evie and John, for this opportunity. I'm excited. I'm excited to share my story. I feel like the past 6 years have really challenged me to be a better person, be a better self, be a better cancer survivor. And I've had the fortunate milestone of reaching my 5th year being cancer-free. So, hey! I can't help but be excited about that. And I think it's important for us to, continue having these conversations. And as you're saying, we might be going into winter, but, we have May, which is Melanoma Awareness Month, coming up for us. So it's always important for us, I guess, as skin cancer survivors and warriors, to be able to get the conversation out there, whether it's hot or cold, because the sun doesn't stop for anybody.
That's true.
Right. So I've got a really great panel with me today, but I can't see if Nicola's on yet.
I don't see Nicola joining, but I will text her whilst you're doing your presentation. Let's just make sure she's got the link. Don't stress about that.
Yeah, I definitely know that. I did forward it to her as well. So I do see my other lady. Hey, B. So Bianca Parsons,
darling.
How are you?
I'm good, and you? I love the hair. Can I just say, I love it.
I'm bringing all the unicorn energy with me today. So fantastic. Thank you, B, for joining us today. So here's what I want to say to everybody. The powerhouse panel that I have scheduled for you guys today consists of 3 melanoma drivers, and I'm honored to be able to facilitate this presentation with them. So like I said, first things first is Bianca Parsons. Now, let me see if I can share
your screen,
screen with you guys. Get ready. Okay, let's see. Can everybody see that?
Yeah, you can see. That's it.
Okay, so first things first, Bianca was diagnosed at the age of 31, ironically, in Melanoma Awareness Month, which is May of last year, 2020. Now, she's an incredible skin cancer advocate across social media platforms, with the main focus on her Facebook page. And I love the name that she put together as a Melaneva. So Melaneva. Now, this is a platform where she creates awareness using her personal cancer journey. And much like many survivors and warriors, we are experts of our experience, so why not share that experience with everybody? So this is where Ms. Bianca Parsons comes into play. Bianca, thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. And thank you so much, Evie, John, and everyone that is just creating this awareness, this platform. It is amazing. I'm glad to be part of this journey. I firmly believe that this happens so that I can raise awareness, because I didn't even know about skin cancer, and I was diagnosed in May, Skin Awareness Month, and I didn't even know that.
Sure.
So my dermatologist and I, we are besties at this moment in time. So as you can see, it's such a hot day today. I am in long sleeves. I'm a real estate agent. For those of you that don't know, I'm always outside in the sun, in the streets. I'm always everywhere. So I am basically, I tell everyone I'm a vampire. That's how I are. Like, I can't be in the sun. Like, it's the craziest thing. So how I love my skin, Naniki, and everyone that's on today, I check my skin weekly. I had a little bit of a scare a few weeks ago where a black dot on my face next to a mole, and I immediately panicked. So it's very, very important to check your skin. That's how my diagnosis came. I ignored my ABCs, and I don't know, Naniki, if you're going to go through the ABCs.
I will.
I completely ignored that, and that was my own fault. So I check my skin weekly. I've got my mole mapping scheduled every 3 months to 6 months. I always have hats, wide brim hats as well when I'm outside. This is my go-to. I've got bottles in every room in my house, and I don't use anything less than SPF 50. That is my absolute max. I want the best protection for my skin, and that's just how I give back. And I feel if my mind and everything and the love I put in my skin, that I will stay cancer-free. So also my bestie, sunglasses.
Yes.
A nice tip. I know everyone doesn't have a lot of money to invest in a good sunglasses, but my dermatologist did say to me, Bianca, even go to optometrist, get lenses for your eyes. Always ask somebody in the shop for the stickers. Make sure that they are UVB and UVA approved. And then someone said to me, they must be about 290 and 400 nanometers, the block for the UVA and UVB. That was quite interesting for me. So it's always nice to do a little bit of research so that you know you're also protecting your eyes, your face. And I always try and stay in the shade. That's very, very important for me. There's an umbrella in my car. I always use it when I walk in between shops or between houses or anywhere I am. It feels a little bit silly, but you know what? My husband and everyone is so caring. They always are like, Bianca, do you have your hat, umbrella? So it's nice to have that support from your friends and family. If I'm just a little bit in the sunnies, Bianca, do you have your SPF on? So for us melahomies and everyone else with skin cancer, I know the basal cell squamous, it is very important to put the love back into our skin. That's how I protect myself. And then also with the UV rays, I don't know if you want to go to that slide, Naniki.
Let me get in there for you quickly.
Yes, that's also something I do. I see you also pulled this from AccuWeather.
Yes, you use AccuWeather as well.
Yes, that is really something I do in the mornings when I wake up. I just see what the weather is going to be that day. And then I just go and see where it lies, what levels we are at. Is it going to be a level 1 to 2? Is it going to be a high 11 plus? Just so that I know how prepared I need to be for that day. Can I only do a summer dress with SPF if it's going to be a very low index rating, or should I be covered from head to toe and literally stay indoors? So this is a very, very fantastic UV index. Thank you, Naniki, for getting this for us. I don't want to go into too much detail. It basically just states where it lies. It goes from very low danger, from 1 to 2. 3 to 5 is your moderate risk. That's where you have to wear a wide-brimmed hat, sunglasses. Your high-risk area 6 to 7. I would prefer to stay indoors between 10 and 4. And then to protect your skin, your eyes, that's very, very important. 8 to 10, that is a very high risk area. You need to take all precautions when it's going to be a very, very hot and sunny day. I think that's more like December, January. Luckily, we're going into winter, then I can breathe a little bit again. So yeah, I do prefer the colder weather now, so I can just, warm up and stay out of the sun, even though I miss it a lot. But yeah, and then your 11 plus, that is extreme, extreme risk. That is, guys, do not even go outside. If you have any form of skin cancer or worried about it, take all precautions.
No, thank you, Bianca, for that. I saw you pulled up the bottles there. How many bottles do you carry with you?
Oh my goodness. I think I have in the car, I've got in my bag, I've got one in every room in my household. It's my go-to. It's my go-to, definitely.
Listen, I love the fact that you know, even made reference to, you know, being seen almost as a vampire, because that's literally what our life has, you know, turned out to be, that you can't be in the sun. Now you're running in the shade. Now nobody can see you during the day. You could only come out at night. So if we're not vampires, I don't know what else we are at this point, you know?
That is so true. I plan it around how the sun activity is. What is the hottest time? And I plan it either in the morning or late afternoon. You know what? I need to, both you and I, we are stage 3B.
Yes.
I'm going almost, hopefully, to my 1-year cancer-free mark. I don't want to take any chances. I really, I want to take care of my skin. I want to take all precautions. Like I said, I visit my dermatologist every day. I'm on it at every moment, every single skin change, I'm on it. There are apps, and I know you also have an app, Naniki, that you have on your phone that is amazing. So yeah, it's thank you for this opportunity and for my tips that I can give you, how I go to my day-to-day and how I love and give back to my skin.
What's your biggest tip that you can give to everybody?
I think SPF. Definitely SPF, just to cover your skin, reapply all the time. And you also have to think, like, I do my nails a lot. I'm a big thing. That's how I express myself. Even the UV lamps at the nail salon, you have to apply SPF to your hands, which I have never known about. And even for me, I've never sunbathed in my life, and I got skin cancer. So people mustn't think if you're not going to be in the sun that you're not going to get skin cancer. You really have to protect yourself from everything. So I think my go-to is definitely my SPF. I can't live without it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the SPF talk on that. And I think Nicola, now that I see that she's on, is going to talk a little bit about the SPF and really what everybody should be looking out for. So Bianca, I know that in about 15 minutes, you're going to be off the call. So thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry. I'm having a crazy day at work today, but I wouldn't have missed this for the world. So thank you for this opportunity, guys. Thanks, Naniki, Evie, John, everyone.
I love you. Fantastic. So Nicola's here. I see her. I'm going to do a quick intro. How are you?
Very well, and yourself?
We're good. We were waiting for you, and I was like, oh my goodness, I hope she makes it on time.
I'm fighting. I'm not the best person when it comes to technology.
I know what you mean.
Anyway, I'm here finally.
Brilliant. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining us, as I said, as a part of the melanoma panel now is Nicola Strayton. And one thing that really sticks out for me, Nicola, I remember seeing your profile being shared in the group, and I perched up because I saw melanoma and I thought, oh yes, here's another Mela sister. So I went in and I read your story and I thought, oh my goodness, who is this amazing Amazonian warrior woman? So ladies and gentlemen, joining us is my personal Amazonian warrior woman and a newbie to the cancer community after her diagnosis in December of 2020. It's Nicola. So now Nicola is a woman who takes life by the balls and is so unapologetically fierce in her spirit and her quest to kick cancer's ass. So Nicola, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Super. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
I wouldn't have done it without you.
Excellent. Yes.
So you were also diagnosed at stage 3, and I've had this love-hate relationship with my skin throughout my life for obvious reasons. You know, now they figuring out that now we have a skin cancer diagnosis. So I want to know the same as Bianca is, how do you love your skin?
How do I love my skin? Well, you've got to look after it. It's the biggest organ of the body. It's what gives us who we are. So you need to take care of it. You need to watch it. And you need to pamper it from a very young age.
Now, when you speak of a very young age, a lot of kids, you know, you obviously are playing in the sun and you're having fun. Who should be taking responsibility for our skin at that age? Because I know personally that my parents didn't necessarily know about sunscreen so much. And whenever I did use it, I'd always get teased. Oh, you want to be a white girl? Why are you using sunscreen?
Yes, because I have noticed we've got a little foster girl, and when you guys put sunscreen on, she always used to look at me and go, now you've made me a Smurf, Nicola. Quite ironically, and I'd go, yes, you can be my little Smurf. It's perfect.
So while we were talking with Bianca, she made a reference that, one of her biggest pro tips is for everybody to be able to use, SPF in their sunscreen. So what SPF do you use? And just give us a little, brief on what SPFs everybody should be using. And I'm going to put the slide up for you. So you can make reference to that as well.
Okay. Your SPF is your sun protection factor. Basically, the higher the number, the longer the period of time you can spend in the sun. Okay. Basically, you take your sun protection factor, you multiply by 15, and that'll give you the amount of minutes that you should, and I say should because not all sunblocks will last as long. That'll give you the time before you need to reapply. But as a general rule, basically, you need to be reapplying your sunblock every 2 hours, minimum. Even if you're just going through the day and a normal day, reapply. You get burnt inside, you get burnt through the through glass. We need to just keep protecting ourselves. Just in general, your lights sometimes are giving off the UVB and UVBA rays. So you need to use an SPF. I use nothing less than a 50 on my entire family. And I have always been known, to run around with sunblock. Yes. So it's very ironic that the person that was nicknamed the sunblock queen ended up with melanoma. So, which is ridiculous, and I'm still the sunblock queen. We spend a lot of time on the water and that. So I feel that it is very, very important. And especially I have 2 young children, keep them covered, keep them checked, make sure that sunblock is on, make sure you are putting in.
No, that's true. So how do you incorporate all the sports and activities that you and your kids are taking part in on a daily basis? Because you do have to keep reapplying. Doesn't it feel like a waste almost that you're even applying it in the first place? Because a lot of people have that type of mentality that, why am I going to keep reapplying if I'm going to be in the water, if I'm going to be sweating? Why do I need to keep reapplying this thing?
Because you want to save your skin at the end of the day, and you want to save yourself from that itchy, prickly pain once you've come out of that water and you've been sunburned and you swell up and whatever. I don't think, to me, it's not a waste. It is absolutely no waste, because I know what happens to your skin in the long term if you do not look after it now. Okay. And very often you get these little kids that mom and dad put on sunblock once, and then go, well, they've had it. Kids will swim 10 times. And by the end of the day, they've got noses that have little indents on them because they've been so burnt. And it's actually, to me, it's cruel to the child, because you're setting them up for a lifetime of problems. So it is something you really, really, really need to focus on, especially, not only in our climate. Yes, we do have a hot climate, we have the sun, but people that live in Europe, you've got to be careful of all the reflections of the snow. You're going to burn in those too. When you're on the beach, just because you're under an umbrella does not necessarily mean that you're in the shade and you're safe, because the sun is going to reflect off the sand, off the water, and burn you. So you've got to keep going. Reapply. Unfortunately, sunblock is expensive. It is definitely worth the investment.
That's true. And I think Bianca showing us what she uses. Now, if you're skiing, you definitely need, obviously, because it's cold, so you need all of that protection in itself, but you need your sunglasses, with that. And, Bianca was just mentioning what type of sunglasses you should be getting as well. What was your childhood like in terms of the amount of sunscreen that you were using, because you mentioned that they nicknamed you the sunscreen queen. What was your childhood like in the sun?
We always used sunblock. Always had sunblock. And from the first time I had a little cancerous growth removed at the age of 21, I have always run around with the big pump bottles, lathering everyone up, whether they liked it or not. And very often I got a jawful for trying to do it to people who don't want it and nagging. But, you know, at the end of the day, it was their best interests that I had at heart, and I still do. And a lot of people don't believe in sunblock, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. You know, it is something that protects us.
Yeah.
And you can definitely see the difference if you go for a day in the sun, putting on your sunblock regularly. At the end of the day, you don't see very many tan marks or lines where your costume was or whatever. If you do not use them, you will be red. And that is already, you're starting to build a relationship with cancer at that stage already, and increasing your risk minute by minute.
That's so true. And I think, you know, they say that if you have more than 5 sunburns while you're younger, you run the risk of developing, you know, skin cancer later on. So I think, you know, having lived through, you know, this life, I was always in the sun, always playing sports, and I definitely was constantly getting sunburns. I was having those moles. I know now that everything that I was doing then was leading me up to my diagnosis. Bianca, did you also see anything, you know, similar to that?
Yes, I burned myself to death on my honeymoon in Mauritius. I can kick myself now, honestly. That was the last thing on my mind, SPF. So yes, I've had a few sun damage before from sun tanning. Yeah. Never sunbed, but like just lying by the beach, and I can kick myself now if I only knew now. But that's why we are here. We are creating that awareness. Like Nicola said, SPF is so expensive, but it's something that you have to do. There are a lot of shops that have specials. Just get something on your skin. I literally threw my body lotion away. I only use SPF now. It's good for makeup as well. I always check now for SPF in my makeup, and I never used to do these things, but I've learned the hard way, unfortunately. Is what it is.
That's true. Nicola, I asked Bianca to show us her bottles earlier. How many bottles do you have?
Do you really want to see? And this isn't even one.
Competition time, guys.
I've got mine.
I don't know where they all are. There's another one. This is my favorite at the moment. It's a BB cream. Yeah, I'm loving this one. But I always use this underneath it. There we go. I use this underneath it as well. Yep. And then I've always got these little samples. Oh gosh, I can't find the mirror. These little samples in my bag that Cetaphil I really like, and it's very good on the beach and in the water. So I'm in love with that one as well. But generally, anywhere you look on the boats, in the bags, wherever you look, there is a sunblock.
It's a
yes, exactly. And half of them I haven't even bought out, because I say half of them aren't even here at home with me because they're at the ball.
So basically, skin cancer is quite an expensive disease, ladies and gentlemen.
It absolutely is. It absolutely, but you know, at the end of the day, it is so worth it. Even if you are just there to preserve aesthetically your skin from the wrinkles, from the you know, the sunburn and the marks and whatever, it is imperative you do it. I mean, I look, my little son is 13 and he's already had his first mole that was a bit skeptical removed. I mean, and it was under his sock line in his ankle.
Wow.
I'm always smothering him in sunblock, and you know, could it be genetics? Is it the sun? Is it a combination? We don't know, but rather try and avoid any situation where you end up like this at any cost. That is it to me. If you can do something to prevent it, do it.
Do it, absolutely. So you're finding now this mole, Bianca. What did your mole look like, and what can we look out for when we now checking our moles? Because I know that the ABCDEs are definitely something everybody needs to know. So if you take a look at your moles, the ones that you had before, what would you say were those, you know, underlining factors that you could have taken note of?
So what happened with me was I was pregnant and a mole on my back got a little bit swollen and it itched like crazy. But it was at my lower back, so it's where your jeans come to. So I thought my clothes are irritating this mole, because for me, if I think skin cancer, I think black, ugly colors, dark brown, and mine was pink, healthy color. I really did not think anything of it, but it just itched like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just started to swell during my pregnancy. And of course, that's one of the things if a mole gets bigger, but it was also in an area where I didn't really see it. And then one day while we were sitting at the pool, my sister said to me, Bianca, just check this out. And I didn't even notice. I just kept scratching, you know. So I think if it's areas that you don't see, get your partner to check you. I think that would have made me go to the doctor sooner, but I thought skin cancer is really about the color of the mole.
Like mole,
But
yeah.
there's other factors that you really have to take into consideration, the itchiness and if it grows in size. So a pink healthy mole, go check it out. That was just my personal experience. So I think if all your moles are fine, do just go for a mole mapping at least once a year. I think it is very good to do. And yeah, I wish I went sooner, but yeah, here I am and we're raising awareness and I'm so happy. And but yeah, ABCs, know your ABCs. Very important.
Know your ABCs. Nicola, what was your mole like?
Didn't have a mole. They actually haven't even found the primary site. It appeared in my lymphs last year. I got a nodule in my groin, went for an ultrasound. They said, please come back, needle biopsy, had the needle biopsy, and within a week they had put me into theater and had cut out the lymphs. And within another 2 weeks, I had seen the oncologist, had my PET scan, and I was starting treatment.
They were working really fast though there. I mean,
they work very fast, but that's because I think it's because it's in the lymphs already. We have scanned my body. I have seen the dermatologist since December twice. No one can find the primary site or where it started. I did have a mole removed when I was 21. That was a 10 by 10 down to the muscle removal. So since then, obviously, I've been very cautious in the sun. On a regular basis, therefore my nickname. But yeah, since then I haven't had any, you know, drastic moles removed or anything like that. And all of a sudden this big lymph node appeared and it's already migrated there. And as I say, we still don't know where it came from.
That's scary. I think let's have a quick look at you know, the ABCs so that everybody's just aware here what we're talking about, you know, in terms of looking out for your moles. So your A is your asymmetries. So if you were to put like a ruler or something straight halfway through your mole, you need to make sure that the other side looks exactly the same. So if it doesn't, it's something we need to take note of, and maybe next time go see a dermatologist, let them know what's going on there. B is for border. Now, I know that with my mole specifically, I had this big black ugly little thing on my leg, and halfway through while it was growing, the one side definitely didn't look like the other. And the shape of it as well was quite irregular and really unsightly. And I think, again, like I was saying earlier, if I look back on my life, I had the telltale sign of melanoma, but because I didn't know, there was nothing else I could do about it. So a border that is irregular, sculpted, or poorly defined is something people need to look out for. Now, the color, Bianca mentioned that hers was pink, and I know that mine was pitch black. But the one thing about these colors is that I make the analogy that we love rainbows. We love seeing rainbows and the beautiful colors. But if you see a rainbow on your body, you need to be aware, because you can't be having all these different shades of colors on your skin and you're just leaving it to whatever God knows. So make sure you take note of the color of your moles, whatever color it may be. Just be cautious about them. And if you have to go to the dermatologist and you're not feeling sure or safe about something, rather get it checked than sitting and, you know, not knowing. D is for the diameter. Now, this is then the size of the mole. They do also come in small sizes, but generally you would find that your melanomas have a bigger size, about 6 millimeters, which could be like the size of an pencil eraser. I know mine was much, much bigger than that. Again, I really should have known these things. And then we look at E. E is evolving, or the evolution of the mole. So something that keeps growing continually, or changes in size, or changes in its color, is just some things that we need to look out for. And I think, in as much as the kids go to school and we're teaching them A, B, C, D, E's, it shouldn't be A's for apple, B's for banana. I think we need to put in some A for asymmetry and borders, and keep, you know, give kids smart sunscreen tips while they're young, so that they know what to look out for when they get older. Because I know for sure, if I had known this stuff earlier, it would have been a different thing, because already at the age of 6, I had my first mole. And if I had known then, my ABCs were different, it would be a different story.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So Bianca mentioned also mole mapping. Nicola, do you do any mole mapping? Do you keep a schedule on when to check? How often do you check your skin?
I go every 3 months and see my dermatologist, and she does it. And then I just look out if anything's changed. I had one taken out in December, and I was looking at my scar that it left behind in about January, beginning of February. And it actually, a new mole had grown around the outside of the scar. So I had to go and have that removed, but it's fine, you know. But you do have to watch them. With regards to kids though as well, my son's little mole, you were saying yours was black. His was black, and it was the size of a pen. If you took a pen and put a dot on the skin, that's how big it was. And that's the one that came back. The ones I was concerned about that looked a bit, you know, not quite right, rather just go to the professionals, let them look at it, and put your mind at ease.
Rather be safe than sorry.
Totally. Absolutely.
Let me play a quick video for everybody here with regards to, you know, checking, screening, your doing your mole mapping, because I use an app called the MySkin app. And a lovely thing about the MySkin team is that, you know, if you download the app, proceeds do get donated to our partners at CANSA. So just everybody just have a look at this, and who knows, we could be saving somebody's life today.
Yep.
This video will explain why and how to identify the appearance of a new mole or mark on your skin. A new mole or mark on your skin can be a potential early sign of skin cancer. Early detection of skin cancer is important for successful treatment. Research shows that over 70% of melanomas in adults start out as new moles or marks on the skin, rather than as changes to existing moles. With the MySkin app, it is simple and easy to take a photo of your back and start using the skin mapping feature. Simply capture a photo of your skin and send yourself a link through the app to view it on a bigger screen. MySkin's skin mapping feature automatically identifies moles and other marks on the skin using a photo of your back and artificial intelligence. You are in charge. You can edit and personalize your skin map by deleting boxes or adding new ones on top of your skin image to improve your skin map. Adding and removing boxes will also improve the future accuracy of the AI algorithm. With skin mapping, you can identify new moles and marks on your skin by comparing photos taken over time. Skin mapping photos can also help you keep track of changes to existing moles on your skin. It can be a good idea to use MySkin's mole tracking feature to track some moles with close-up photos. You can ask your doctor about which moles you should keep an eye on. The MySkin app also reminds you to take more photos to build up a record over time. It's very important to not delay. Tell your family doctor or dermatologist about any changes to a mole or patch of skin or a new mole or mark on adult skin. Early detection is important for successful treatment. Download the My Skin app today from the App Store or Google Play.
Wow,
So yeah,
very interesting, hey?
that's us. The skin cancer queens.
Listen,
We
we're
love
all
to do
waiting
this
to get
thing.
to our 5-year mark like you. Hey, well done. Woo, it's time to party.
You know, just getting to this mark, I had to like really question exactly where am I going now, because everything has been getting to this 5th year point, and I'm thinking to myself that I've shared my story so many times. I want to be able to share more melanoma warrior stories. So this is exactly why for me it was important to be able to share the platform with you ladies, because I've said my story.
Thank
People
you.
know my story. You know, I'm the black girl with the white people's disease. I'm an anomaly. I'm the cancer unicorn, you know. So it's time for me to share the platform with everybody. So thank you to my panel today for joining me and for being vulnerable and sharing your story, because ladies, your information, your life story, your experience really does empower and give somebody else just that little bit of hope that, you know what, we can beat this thing. We're not stressed about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And nowadays there are treatments that can help you.
Absolutely so.
Yes, come a long way.
Yeah. Thank you, Evie. Thank you, John. I don't know if anybody
Thank you,
has any
everybody.
questions.
Yeah, I think
Thank you, everybody.
thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you so
And
much.
especially to our 2 champs, Bianca and Nicola, as our guest speakers, including NANIKI. I think from my side, I'd like to ask a question in terms of treatment. I don't quite think, NANIKI, we touched into a bit of that. Maybe for someone that's listening and has a bit of a worry about a mole, but is too scared to go because they're scared of the unseen or the unknown treatment that comes with it. Could you guys perhaps just touch on very little about what kind of treatment? So perhaps someone's looking and going, well, do I need to do chemo? Do I do radiation? Do I do immunotherapy? So just touch a little bit about what kind of treatment you guys went through, if you wouldn't mind.
I think all in all, everybody's cancer journey is different. So your treatment will also be different. And in as much as all 3 of us were diagnosed with stage 3, we've had different experiences, because I know I only had the surgery to remove it. I didn't need any immunotherapy or anything else afterwards. But I know that Nicola has a different experience with that, and that Bianca also was given the option for immunotherapy. So I think it's different with each person.
Okay.
Yes, with me, I had the surgery immediately. They found it did spread to my groin. My doctor did remove 2 lymph nodes. So it then did take me from stage 1 to stage 3B. And they offered me to do immunotherapy. It is crazy expensive. Nicola would know this. My doctor did apply for it. I was denied. I had a long fight with a cancer company, campaigning for cancer. That is what their name is. And we got it approved. But then when I joined a second doctor for a second opinion, she said to me I was too far out of surgery. My body would not know what to do with the immunotherapy. So she said to me, it's a very big gamble if I should do the treatment or not. She feels I'm currently cancer free because I've done my PET scan. I'm actually doing another PET scan in June. I'm doing 3 monthly checkups at this moment in time. I'm seeing my doctor again middle of April. And that's how we are keeping finger on the pulse with tests, scans, and blood work. If she feels I should do immunotherapy, then we'll maybe apply with Discovery again. I did a long thing with Discovery where I felt I was treated unfairly because they denied treatment for me. Because we're not asking for cancer. I didn't ask for this to happen to me. And it's about 80,000 Rand for a drip every 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to get treatment for a year. I don't know, Nicola, if you're on that one. But yes, my doctor feels I'm cancer-free. I am cancer-free. My mind is ready. I am positive about this. And hopefully I can get to that 5-year mark. That would be absolutely amazing. But if we
On
should
your
get,
way.
we'll do immunotherapy. But yeah, my doctor said to me, chemo doesn't really work for melanoma.
Melanoma, yes.
Yeah. Nicola, perhaps from your side, if you could
Okay.
just a little bit.
So they have started me on the immunotherapy. I am taking Keytruda. Tomorrow I actually go for my 6th strip.
Sure.
So far, besides the payment, it has been quite painless, actually. All it does is, to me, is I get a few skin rashes every now and then, and my skin is a little drier than it used to be, and I'm extremely tired. Other than that, I feel like a normal person. I have been able to continue with life, do the things I love, get up to the mischief I love, doing things with my kids and doing, getting out there and just being active. So in that respect, it has not slowed me down. And that was my biggest fear, is that I would need the chemo or the radiation and how it would affect my life. That I know. Would it slow me down? Would it affect my relationship with my kids, or the fact that I can't just get up and go jump on a wakeboard and go for a ski or whatever? That was my biggest fear. So they have started me on it. Yes, it is a big ask and it is very expensive. They only cover 75% of it. You have to pay the balance, and they will not stick that needle into your arm until you have actually, that money has been transferred and they see it reflecting in their bank. So every 21 days, you adding 22,000 Rand to your medicine. But for me, when it works, it is working. I feel I'm going to outlive probably most other people. So I'm very positive about it as well. If you can do it, it is so worth it. Unfortunately, like you said, it is extremely, extremely expensive. And I just feel that it's wrong that it is denied to so many people because of the costs.
Yeah.
When it can change your life and extend your life for numerous years.
Yeah.
Can you get on a
So
trial?
yes.
Can you get on a trial? Would that make
there aren't any trials at the moment for it. Not for the particular one that I need and the treatment I need. There isn't a trial. So no, I am scrimping and scraping and cutting corners, but I will do it.
No, you're right. The trials aren't available, because even after my diagnosis and after I got my treatment, the question did come up with immunotherapy, and my question was, is there a trial? And this was 2016. So if there wasn't trials then and it's 2021, I don't know what's going on.
Look, there are trials and there are some starting, but because you've got to be at a certain stage within your melanoma to be accepted onto that trial. So I'm not stage 4.
They see me as cancer-free, so why do I need treatments?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's also one thing. Yes, I'm cancer-free, but it's something that can help me as an adjuvant therapy. So yeah, it's quite unfortunate. But I'm so happy that you're doing the treatments and you look fantastic. But we can beat this. I feel if your mind is right, you can.
Oh yes,
absolutely,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. I mean, I just wish it would be available. There are so many patients, other patients that I've heard of that have come in and they cannot continue. I mean, I can only imagine how awful it must be to sit there and know that there is a treatment available to you that could save your life. And just because of the financial situation, you cannot get it.
Yeah.
To me, that is heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So I am very fortunate in that respect.
100%. And I think a question that I wanted to ask you, Nicola, we say that the medical aid, should you be lucky enough that medical aid cover it in the existing policy that you have, because we all know there's always little T's and C's that come out jumping only when you need the medical aid the most, unfortunately. And depending on what plan you're on, they'll say to you it's not covered or it is covered, and it's covered by 50% or 75%. That balance of the 25, is that something that could be covered under a gap cover? If you have an additional gap cover, do you know of that?
Yes. Look, it is a huge rigmarole for them. You need to first spend you know, use up your 400,000 Rand that they give you towards your cancer treatment and your treatment in this situation. So, and then it'll kick in. But I mean, the rigmarole and the paperwork that goes in to get 1 cent out of them, you know, you feel like you're constantly fighting.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is supposed to be, you're supposed to be healing, not all this negative energies and this constant, you know, negativism and just, you know, strife is just also not good for your healing.
Yeah.
You know, which I find a little frustrating, but I mean, you know, they are in it to make money as well. So, you know, that's how it works, I suppose.
Yeah.
You just got to keep fighting.
100%. Very frustrating. And as you said, the most important thing whilst you're on this journey, and I'm sure Michelle will vouch for that. Michelle is our partnered cancer coach, and she's all about positive mindset. And
yes,
she'll vouch for the fact that whilst you're on this journey, the last thing you're actually wanting to worry about is the financial strain that you're having to take. You're actually wanting to focus on your treatment and healing, as Nicola said, you know, and it is a very challenging part of it. And I wish that we could make things a lot more easier so that a patient wouldn't have to go through that journey. And perhaps, you know, with the advocacies that are going around and the fighting and then the constant push that we're giving towards medical aids, perhaps at some point they'll get to realize that this is also one of the reasons why a lot of survivors battle through their journey, because of these hiccups that come along the way. So yeah, a very frustrating process, but I think a word of advice for those that are listening, you know, I know we always want to look at our medical aids differently and we want to pay as less as we can, but perhaps it's not a bad idea to relook at what cover you have. Even if it's every 6 months, I know you can only upgrade and downgrade or downgrade throughout the year, but you can only upgrade towards December if that's, I'm speaking out of correction, but I understand that's sort of the basic terms. But do yourself a favor and always keep checking up on what cover you have, because I know a lot of the time from experience and what we've seen come through the project and you know, queries that we're having to deal with, you apply for a sort of planned medical aid, and at the time you could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years in it, you've never had an issue, so you've never actually looked at it to see what you're actually getting cover for. You think you've got cover, and unfortunately, as Murphy's Law always happens, something happens and you now need to access that certain plan, and that's only the time that it gets brought to your attention that what you're actually wanting to access the plan for is not available to you. So guys, please make a note to relook at your current covers, your medical aids, anything relating to gap cover, just so that you don't have to go through that process whilst you're on the journey, because as you can hear from our guest speakers, it is a frustrating journey and it does hinder your healing process. So yeah, very important. Has anybody got a question to ask Naniki and Nicola whilst they're still with us?
Where do I get my hair? Anywhere.
got to take this. Daniela, I'm here. I'm just in the middle of a conference call and I don't know where my steer.
What was interesting for me to hear about the mole mapping, and you know, I think it's something, as you said, Naniki, through the presentation that you showed us, is the importance of why we should do mole mapping. And I think a lot of people haven't really realized the advantage that can come with doing such mole mapping. When you go to a GP or dermatologist or a mole mapping institution, the most important thing that they're going to look out for is the fact that they can scan 2 millimeters under the skin to determine with great accuracy the likelihood of the presence of melanoma, even under the skin. So guys, this means that it actually detects something that could be underlying underneath the skin, which hasn't really reached the surface yet. So Naniki, your thoughts on that? I mean, that's quite an important topic and aspect to bring about to people, because if these things were available to us at obviously earlier stages in your journey, you know, you could have been told that, look, you know, we're suspecting or we're seeing something that we don't like underneath the skin, we're going to watch it, and in your follow-up appointments, should it surface, we can then immediately take it out without it having to progress to stage 1, 2, or 3, or even 4.
Absolutely. I think a lot of what I was then proactively doing after my diagnosis was trying to track any skin changes that I would see. And I think, you know, a lot of people of color, and I say this because whenever I'm speaking to Black people, and I always mention, you know, the moles that I have and I've always had throughout my life, it's not a big thing for us because we almost see it as like a hereditary thing because, oh, your grandmother had those and now your mom has those and you have them, but they could be underlining factors, you know, with that. So I know that, you know, then realizing that, you know, looking at your nails and, you know, soles of your feet and stuff like that. And really, this is where now the moles that we're tracking now, they're actually in those exact places, like underneath my foot, behind my back, just one that's like randomly here. And we're really trying to be as proactive as we can be with this mole mapping journey that I'm on. And I always just try to tell my friends and people who I'm able to speak to that if you're not going to do the mole mapping, then at least still try to track the changes in your skin, whether you're taking a photo or you're going to use an app. Just be proactive with this stuff because eventually this is the thing that might, you know, lead to your doctors being able to see that how your moles have developed over time, because they definitely do change and evolve, and you need to be aware of that.
Yeah, very important. And I think another thing that you mentioned earlier, and perhaps the focus group on how we're going to take this awareness and educate as we go forward with Filotimo and our champions, is the kids section. And under Filotimo Kids, you know, especially coming into May, which is the official Melanoma Awareness Month, under Filotimo Kids, I think it's going to be very important, Naniki, that we share this information about the 5 sunburns, you know, because we all know, and I mean, I can almost say that 90% of us always think, oh, you know, it's just once, you know, it wasn't too bad, I burnt a little bit, you forget about it, a couple of years go by, you go on another holiday, you want to get color, so you're going out again, you get another burn, and you think, oh, you know, just another one, doesn't matter, fine, nothing's happened, I haven't seen anything change. But to actually get people to become aware of the amount of burns, as you said, because the sunburn, especially in childhood, might not show immediately at that point in time in the child. And as it grows, obviously, into years later, this is now what actually happens and triggers, you know, the onset of the diagnosis and the staging, etc., etc. So as Nicola advocates as well, important not to just sit by and go, you know, they're just going to swim for 5 minutes, you know, in the midst of the hottest summer day. You know, obviously the times, we know what times to avoid in the sun, but I think it's important to make a lot of parents and aunties and uncles and grannies and grandpas aware that even if they are babysitting, you know, even if the child comes and says, but please, I'm only going to go for 5 minutes, you know, do I really need to put on the stuff?
Lather them up.
And that's the thing, you know, we have to keep enforcing this rule of thumb, if I could actually put it that way, that it's so important to do that, you know, and again, not to just expect that it's going to happen only in adults, because perhaps, Naniki, I don't know if you've got any info that you can share to us, but I mean, have you come across a younger child that has had melanoma or been staged with melanoma at any point? So that would be quite interesting for us to have a look at and see what is sort of the youngest age that someone has been diagnosed with melanoma, because I think it's,
you know, I always joke that the first mole I had, the jelly tot mole as I call it, I always joke that was the beginning of my melanoma. And like, if I'm really being honest, the only problem is that we never went to diagnose this thing. But that mole was so suspicious, honest to God, it was so suspicious that the fact that nobody took note of it or even tried to make a means to get me to the hospital, I mean, that's a red flag in itself. I don't know what was going on with my parents, but we know now. But you know, just I blame them. But you know,
well,
no, I think I think even the kids that like to play outside my house, you know, whenever we're playing, I'll pull out, you know, an extra bottle that I have, especially for the lighter kids, because I see myself in them and I'm like, okay, let's put some stuff on you because I don't want you playing in the sun for too long. And their parents are always like, why am I doing that? Now I have to, you know, explain this whole thing. And I don't mind explaining it to them, but I'm the only one that's doing that. The parents then don't go back and do it tomorrow.
Yeah. And you know what I think is also important is that we always associate, you know, sunscreen and swimming pool. But what about the kids that are doing activities at school? Sports activities, spending the afternoon in the sun, having to go and do running, football, soccer, netball, hockey,
cricket, everything.
You know, all of those things that sometimes we don't perhaps always pack sunscreen in their suitcases, bags when they go to school. And they're not left with much option, and they have to go and play sports. So they know they're going to be in the sun, and that's generally after hours, which is, I mean, after school, time from like 12 till 4. You know, that aspect and that part is also something that we have to focus on, because it's not just, let's not associate this only with swimming, you know, swimming in the pool. It's
Evie, you remember we have 2 champions. We've got Siobhan, and I can't remember who the other one was. And Siobhan went and used a sun tanning machine.
Yeah. Seriously
bad idea.
Yeah.
And then there was another one who used the nail machine and the beauty treatments.
Yeah.
Seriously bad idea for this.
Yeah.
And Steve, are you telling us we can't get our nails done now?
Well, not with that machine. I don't know what the machine was. Do you remember? It's in the stories. One of our champions used the machine. The nail. Yeah.
It's that UV light that they put, and
UV.
I think Steve, you may have just missed Bianca when she was talking right in the beginning, where she said that one of our sessions in one of our previous skin cancer webinars that we had last year with our Dr. Jana Constantinou, we were actually talking about the UV machine, because we know so many ladies, even young girls, that are going and getting their nails done and doing gelish, they're having to put their hands into that machine for, let's call it half an hour, 40 minutes, you know, through that process. And Bianca was saying how important it is to go and put SPF on your hands, even if you're going to go and get your nails done, you know. And this is the importance that you bring up, Steve. So thanks for that extra note as well.
And the tanning machine is a no-no.
Yeah. Definitely. So another wonderful session. I don't know if anybody else has a question to ask before we go into our closing off. Any questions? Yeah, Michelle, go ahead. Thank you.
Hi guys. Hi everyone. I just wanted to ask NANIKI if they ever told you what kind of SPF to use and what ingredients should be in your sunscreen to actually make it effective, because as we know, not all products are created equal.
Yeah. I've always been using SPF 50 like Bianca and Nicola, and I think I remember my dermatologist just mentioning having a bottle that has zinc in it. I'm not necessarily sure why, but I'm always checking for zinc when I go in.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because my dermatologist said that your sunscreen should contain titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, because both protect better from UVA and UVB. One or the other only protects one or the other. So it's important to have both those ingredients. So I just wanted to know if that's kind of the same way. Sorry?
You said what
titanium
was the first
dioxide, titanium dioxide and zinc oxide.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both white, aren't they?
I know HelioCare does contain both. Yes. Very few of the sunscreens out there contain both of them, and then most of them contain either, I know Nivea is titanium and Eversun is zinc. So just maybe something to be aware of.
Yeah.
I'll take note of the titanium one. I'm literally going to read all my bottles now.
You do that.
Thanks for that, Michelle. Any other questions before we close off? No?
Thanks very much, everybody. What a stunning session. NANIKI, you are a superstar. I want you back at least once a month, girl. And the next time, everybody's going to wear one of those wigs. That's for sure. You look amazing. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And the Cancer Champions, wow, you guys are just so inspiring and awesome. And, you know, I think the question that was driving through my mind the whole time was, how do we tell people to become just like you guys? Yeah. You know, that are so positive and with this mindset of you know, we just cannot fail. So we just really, really are blessed to have you on board with us, and we really appreciate it. Just a bit of housekeeping from my side. This session was brought to us today by Bryanston BMW. We really thank them, one of our great partners on the project. For more information about the Filotimo Cancer Project, you can Google us. Our website address is filotimo.org.za, or you can send a direct email to evy@filotimo.org.za. Please don't forget to upload this session, to see the session uploaded on our YouTube channel this afternoon, so you can get to see exactly what's happening. And then something really exciting, we just want to tell you about EVY, the Ultramarathon 2 of Honor. Ultramarathon of Honor 2 is launching real soon. You want to just tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so with the awesome success and such an emotional and heartwarming event that we had last year in November, the 28th of November, Timo, the hero's journey continues. He's come to us to announce that he is going to be running 115 kilometers this time. He's going to be running from Paris to Josie, very exciting, and ending at BMW Bryanston, who's our official partner at the end of the session. And we're going to probably launch the Ultramarathon 2 on the 29th of May, all goes well. We are proudly partnered with DKMS Africa, formerly known as the Sunflower Fund. And yeah, we're a very exciting event. We're going to have lots of things happening, cyclothon taking place, very exciting partners that are joining us and are going to have their stalls happening. So a lot of info are going to be shared. And we hope that you can all come and join us, even if it's just to spend a couple of hours with us and feel what it is to do what we do in the spirit of Filotimo, because we don't do it any better way other than having our super awesome champions and family of partners joining us for that day. So have a look out, and more info to follow shortly. So once again, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate all of you joining us today. Please keep safe. We will be back next week, Wednesday. We are having another session with the Cancer Association of South Africa. Very exciting topic that they're actually officially launching next week on the 7th of April. So please watch out for that. And other than that, again, my guest speaker for today, Naniki, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Our champions, awesome again, as always. And without that, we wouldn't be what we're doing, what we do without you guys. So keep doing it, keep smiling, keep inspiring. You guys are awesome. And I know that a lot of people are going to be listening to this audio or visual today and going home and having a look at some of their moles and going, eesh, I think I need to go and check that out. And that's what it's all about, guys. It's about getting the awareness out and making you know you're normal. And if it's not normal, go and check it out. So from my side, thank you. We'll see you all next week, Wednesday. Be safe, be blessed, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.